people and situations that will help you. You choose to be wealthy. Your thoughts are positive. You receive money every day. You are wealthy. You are rich. You are powerful. You attract money. You deserve money. You are surrounded with money. You have multiple sources of income. You are abundant. You are highly driven and motivated to succeed. You have the ability to make large amounts of money. You achieve whatever you set your mind to. You are focused. You attract money easily in every way. You are a money master. You feel good having money. You are prosperous in every way. You are successful. You are a millionaire. You attract all the money you desire. You attract people and situations that will help you. You choose to be wealthy. Your thoughts are positive. You receive money every day. You are wealthy. You are rich. You are powerful. You attract money. You deserve money. You are surrounded with money. You have multiple sources of income. You are abundant. You are highly driven and motivated to succeed. You have the ability to make large amounts of money. You achieve whatever you set your mind to. You are focused. You attract money easily in every way. You are a money master. You feel good having money. You are prosperous in every way. You are successful. You are a millionaire. You attract all the money you desire. You attract people and situations that will help you. You choose to be wealthy. Your thoughts are positive. You receive money every day. You are wealthy. You are rich. You are powerful. You attract money. You deserve money. You are surrounded with money. You have multiple sources of income. You are abundant. You are highly driven and motivated to succeed. You have the ability to make large amounts of money. You achieve whatever you set your mind to. You are focused. You attract money easily in every way. You are a money master. You feel good having money. You are prosperous in every way. You are successful. You are a millionaire. You attract all the money.
No, this is
You attract people and situations.
I found this
you choose to be wealthy.
this channel that
Your
uses
thoughts are positive.
classical
You
music
receive
and
money
affirmations,
every
or at
day.
least this
You are
video,
wealthy.
and I've been listening
You
to
are
it.
rich.
I'm not
You
gonna
are
listen to it
powerful.
the whole
You
stream.
attract money. You deserve money. You are surrounded with money. You have multiple sources of income.
Yeah, I just found this channel. And I was just listening to the affirmations. Okay. Affirmations I will say that affirmations are very powerful. Uh, I see that as just input. Whatever you put in is what you get out. And instead of me trying to always think positive, I can just listen to other people and that is just speaking positivity. So I've just delegated that task of thinking positive and speaking powerful words of affirmation. I've delegated that task to other people, and I just listen to it and I take it in. Because words of affirmations, they definitely work. You say something long enough, as crazy as it sounds, people definitely believe it, even if there's no merits to it, no truth. People definitely believe in this shit. September 16th. No, unfortunately not. Alfred, the crazy thing is, I think I told you that recently I downloaded TikTok uh, just to follow current events so I can get an unfiltered All right, so let's see. Well, huh, that's interesting. That is interesting. Okay. So right now, the institutions are about 56% long for the week, and they're 45% short this week. So 56% long, 45% short this week. We have 17,000 contracts trading net long right now, which is underneath or which is below the 13-week average. Actually, we're having so right now the market is actually above the short percentage and below the long percentage. So, what does that say to me? That tells me that the market is obviously going to remain bullish. I mean, it's going to be hard for the bears to come back in unless we get something that just completely wipes out all the gains, which is highly unlikely. But this data right now is telling me that we could see a lot of ranges, a lot of breakdowns that will ultimately get bought right back up. So I don't expect a big move down, and I also do not expect a big move higher, which is pretty similar to the previous week, where I mean it's almost identical is almost identical to the week of September 2nd. We saw what the market chop, 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 and then a big move. So maybe we get that again this week. We'll see. We'll see. But it may feel bullish, but we could see some bearishness, even though it feels bullish. Now, uh, we got to talk about this move on Friday, though. We got to talk about this move on Friday. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that fighting against that bearish trend on Friday was actually the move? Now, actually, let me be more clear because it wasn't even a bearish trend. Now that we have the power of hindsight, we can see that even though it felt very bearish Friday, the market was always in an uptrend. It's just that this pullback, even though it was just that, a pullback, it just felt more bearish than it needed to feel, or than it needed to be. Because obviously it was not bullish, or it was never bearish. It was always the market pulling back into a previous area of support. And obviously, in hindsight, this is basically a two-legged. So this is a big move higher, a two-legged pullback into support, and the bulls stepping up, buying that retest, and ending the session breaking Thursday's high and pre-market's high. Or was that a pre-market high? Was that no? Actually, yeah, it was breaking the New York session high and closing at 888. Hey, yo, what's up, Tony Gold? What's up? Yeah. Yeah. And I was able to get my money back with this move. I thought I was going to get stopped out here because if y'all guys recall, and that's something else. I was talking to Smith about this as well. And moving forward, I'm going to make it a point to try to be as passive with the Nasdaq as possible. Even if I see the Nasdaq running without me, she always comes back. And the trade that I had sitting at the start of the session was actually the actual trade that if I would have waited, I wouldn't have taken any losses on Friday. But I got aggressive with the Nasdaq and I got chopped up, stopped. I did make money in this move, I believe. But then when I tried to add to this position, it pulled back to my original entry, stopped me out a couple of times, and I was able to get my money back in that pullback trade. So it kind of goes to show that if you're not scalping the Nasdaq, if you're trying to look for moves that are more than 10, 15 points, 10, 20 points, and you're actually looking to catch a move, you have to trade the Nasdaq passively, or you're going to get caught in moves where it doesn't complete the rotation the first time and needs to pull back. And then not only does it complete it the second time, but it breaks structure to the upside and exceeds it, as we saw on Friday. A lot of bears got caught in this pullback. Now, a lot of bears got caught in that pullback. And that's why every time when it's the bear's turn, or I need just a quick trade and it's the bear's turn, I'm always dreading the bearish move. I'm always dreading it because this was a turbulent, even though this was the momentum was very bearish in this leg right here. There was a lot of turbulence. Like the bears had to go through so much. This probably took what? This took about 10 minutes, 10 minutes of stress as a bear just for it to get instantly bought up. This took about 15, 20 minutes right here for it to get bought up. The bears struggled to knock this thing down. And the bulls were just aggressively buying this move as it went until the bears finally gave it up. And we saw a lot of the stubborn bears get stopped out. And the reason why you can tell that this is a squeeze is when you see a move like this, when you just see people just getting stopped out of their positions, and you're seeing the market grind, 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 grind. These are bears trying to sell this thing as it goes higher, and they're failing, and they're getting stopped out. That's what grinding signals to me, is that the other side of the market is being very aggressive, and for whatever reason, they're getting absorbed by the opposite side. And in this situation, the bulls were buying as they were selling. So a lot of these bears got stopped out, which fueled this market higher going into the close on Friday. So if he was able to capture this move on Friday and go into the weekend and a happy trader, congratulations. Hopefully, no one got caught going on tilt trying to short this thing, because the Nasdaq is really great at manipulating emotions. As a former bear myself, I can understand that you have to have a certain bit of stubbornness to be a bear in this market. I mean, there's the same, being a stubborn bear is already a thing. That's already a reality of being a bear, is being stubborn, because you have to be. But when you're in a position, let's just say you caught the top, you're in this position for more than 2 hours, and let's just say that you were trying to target Friday's lows, pre-market lows. Let's just say that's where you were targeting. You're already in this position, you're dedicated to this position. You're not getting out, you're in profit, and then the market does something like this. This is definitely a recipe to send anybody on tilt. And I can tell that this was tilt because, like I said, these were bears trying to sell into this thing as it went higher into the close. So one of the things that I found to be helpful is just to try to trade the mathematical equation as best as possible. As long as we remember that the market is not necessary, it doesn't necessarily move off of reality, but it makes mathematical moves, which are called measured moves. You can kind of trade as long as price is still in a quote unquote mathematical zone, as long as it's made a measured move and it doesn't exceed that measured move, then you can rest assured in feeling that you're trading on the right side of the market. But I understand, because I even find myself ignoring the measured moves when it doesn't fit my bias, and then becoming a liquidity donation to the market, or missing a good setup because I don't trust that a measure. I mean, I see the measured move, I don't trust the measured move, and because I do not trust the measured move, I miss the entire move, and either I'm sitting back, I'm not participating in the move because I missed it, or I'm trying to enforce my way into the move because I didn't trust it down here. I was like, oh, there's no way that the market is going to pull back into this area and the bulls are going to step up. So instead of taking the entry right here, I'm trying to catch it as it's trying to go up, which I've already said, especially with gold, you do not buy as the market is going up. This is not the Nasdaq. You can catch a quick scalp, but gold is very great at punishing people that trade her improperly. You can get lucky here and there. If you can participate when the market is just being extremely bullish, like it was going into the close on Friday, then yeah, you can get away with buying as it goes higher. But normally, that's not how gold trades. So you don't ever want to get into a habit of trading gold like that, especially gold. Honestly, Alfred, I think that's a possibility. It's only 6,000 points. We already know that the Nasdaq is highly capable of doing it. It's just going to be the ES. If if the ES, I mean, if the ES can get to 7,000, I think that'll probably be the equivalent for 30,000 on the Nasdaq. And I'm just throwing that number out there. I don't know, because we all know that the ES doesn't necessarily. I mean, the ES makes measured moves as well, but it doesn't extend the same way that the Nasdaq extends. So the Nasdaq can get to 30,000, and while the ES is sitting at 6,800, something like that. And then once the Nasdaq gets to 30,000, you'll just see a big sell off. And then once you see that big sell off to probably 27,000, something like that, and then the Nasdaq and the ES will realign with each other. And the new range in the Nasdaq will be from 30,000 to 27,000, while the ES hasn't cracked 68. So it's like, well, with things going the way that they're going now, I think we see that. I really wouldn't be surprised. I really would not be surprised. There's a lot of stuff with it's a lot of controversy over the weekend with the work visas. I know a lot of people have different opinions. I've seen the videos. I've watched the videos. I've watched some people uh, are happy because if this situation works as intended, uh, college graduates will at least have an opportunity to get into the field that they went to school for. I was lucky. I was fortunate to be in the right place at the right time throughout my journey. Uh, it felt as if I had a guide the entire way, because there was, as I was going through each stage, everything fell into place. So at least for me, I did not have a gap between education and employment. It was all streamlined, no gaps. And once I've reached that stage of employment, then I went through the phase of growth. And now I'm kind of I'm as high as I want to be. Uh, I'm I'm not going to say that if given the opportunity to go higher that I won't take it, because obviously, growth is important. But I'm at a point now where it's like, well, the amount of focus that will be required to efficiently maintain higher roles, I can do that for myself. I'm now in a mindset of becoming an entrepreneur, and then in the future becoming an employer myself. And that's where I'm at. And just looking back from the start of my journey, where I'm at now was always, I guess, a goal or a dream, something that I wasn't 100% confident that could be a reality for me, but here I am now. But that's my story is not like a lot of other people's stories. They go to school and they do what they believe is right. And once they go out and they apply for these tech jobs, there's no opportunity for them. Because, I mean, if we're going to just be completely honest, if you're an employer, you're always going to go for the cheap labor. I mean, it's not anything bad, it's just business. Why would I pay if somebody has the same level of skills? If I can get away with cheap labor and the other person agrees to it, that's equivalent exchange, regardless of morality or anything like that. It's equivalent exchange because if I'm getting cheap labor and the other party is getting opportunity, and it's not like I'm forcing this person to work in a quote unquote sweatshop or anything. It's this is what I'm willing to pay. Do you accept it or not? And it's up to them to say yes or no. And unfortunately, because of, I guess, the majority of how people live in the state of the countries that they live in, of course, that's great to them because from what I've seen, and I'm not 100% sure because obviously I've never been to these places myself. I can only rely on the documentaries or personal vlogs that people post online for other people to watch. That a lot of these people, they're making less than what 5, 10 cents or whatever a day. They don't being able to make 10,000, 20,000, $30,000 a year is a complete upgrade for them. It literally changes their way of life. And it really took listening to people in quote unquote third world countries or living in those conditions, hearing their story. Uh, One of the stories that stuck with me was it seems like, yeah, Americans think that uh, when they protest and they take away these jobs, they think that they're helping and they're not. Because to them, because of what we're used to over here, the wages that they get paid is higher than what is available to them if it wasn't for these companies going overseas and seeking their quote unquote cheap labor. It allows them to make a living for them and their family. And after listening to that story, I was like, you know what? I didn't think about it like that because I don't have to think about it that way. I don't. But to them, it's an opportunity for a better life. So even though it doesn't seem fair, it's still equivalent exchange. It's still. Now, once they're able to build up their their finances and become stable, then of course they're going to say, yeah, I want more wages. Or they can go out and do exactly what they're doing and create a business. Uh, TikTok is it's literally, well, I don't know if TikTok is going to be the same once I guess the quote unquote new TikTok becomes available. But you go on TikTok, there's literally creators on that platform that makes more than me. And I will say that they're not as, I don't want to use the term educated, but I will say that they put in less effort than I have in terms of life. There's a lot of effort, and there's a reason why I'm in the situation where I'm in because there was a lot of effort. It wasn't given to me. I didn't. Anyway, that's not the point. But there's people on TikTok, that just make farting noises and cry and do all kind of stuff and entertain people, and they're used to making $5,000, $10,000 a month. So I mean, if I believe the internet is available to everyone, or at least majority of people. If it really was about being financially free and making money, well, the internet is definitely available. We are in an age where you don't necessarily need to be an organization. You can just be an individual that sells a product and there will be a buyer. And you can make money that way. I mean, for a while on TikTok, you can literally be an NPC and people were, getting rich off of that. So, I mean, Anyway, but then I understand that the other side of the argument. Uh, well, actually, I think I spoke about both sides of the. I think I yeah I think I spoke about both sides. Yeah, so I can understand both sides. I really can. Uh, Hopefully, it works out for everyone. Uh, I do understand that Trump has a responsibility here in the United States. If we can get more college graduates to be able to transition from education into employment, that will be a win. If if this is to work how it's intended to work, I think it will be a good thing. So where companies aren't filling all of their positions, every single one of them, with just cheap labor and someone that spent 5, 6 years in college learning computer science and all of that stuff, and they can't find employment, so they're forced to, work somewhere else. They have a degree in computer science, and they're working at McDonald's, or they're a manager at Target, or something like that. It's not a good feeling to go to school and become educated in a field and not be able to find employment in that field. So it's not a good feeling. So hopefully that situation works out for as much people as possible. If it can be 50-50, if this situation can be an equivalent exchange, I think that would be the best thing for people. At least that's my opinion. Mm, mm. And I definitely agree, Alfred. I mean, we all know that the forward contract will usually send us over a certain level. If we get close to 30K on this contract, on the December contract, if we get to 28,000, 27, 28, we're definitely going to see 30,000 in March. It's just how this thing rolls. It just continues to go up. Unless we see a downturn in the market, which I doubt. I don't think Trump would even allow that. I don't believe that we'll see a decline during Trump's presidency unless something catastrophic happens. Outside of a catastrophe, I think the market will continue to go up. Trump wouldn't allow that shit. He would not even allow that. And I think Trump is it just seems like with Trump, the difference between Trump's presidency and everybody else's presidency is that Trump is his main focus is this market. I mean, it makes sense. He's a businessman, of course. It makes sense that his focus is mostly this market. And the one thing that he wants to make sure is that the market is, because it's a reflection of what he's doing over there with this administration. So I don't believe that the market will see a big turn. Maybe after he's done, we'll probably see like a big super correction like we did when Biden came into office. We saw a really big correction, but I don't think Trump would allow it to happen on his watch. That's just my opinion based on what I've seen during his first term. So we'll see. We'll see. Hey, what's up, Santiago? Wow. Wow. He can't find a job, right? And I think that's probably what this the you took a week off. What prompted that? Did you lose your account or something? Yeah, I mean it's heartbreaking, man. Like I said, I feel that I when I was going through my journey, I didn't have any gaps. It was as if I had a helping hand, like I was walking in the sand and Jesus was right there next to me. As using that as a metaphor, because from start to finish, it was bam, 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 bam. Like it was perfect. And looking back on it, it was like, wow. Um, I guess I would be considered one of the lucky ones. But at the same time, I don't want to make it sound like as if there wasn't no effort, because there was a lot of effort. Um, my lifestyle before to now was completely different. Like what do you call it? Ghost protocol. I went into Ghost protocol. Like I stopped going out. I stopped fucking with bitches. The bitches. If y'all know me, that was a big change, because it was my mindset was about fucking bitches. That's all I cared about before, and it was a big change for me. If it wasn't for my brother uh, bringing, and then the crazy thing is that when because we was welders working at GE, and then he just was like, I just want to go into IT. And I was like, am I trying to go into that nerd shit? Like, you don't get no bitches being on IT. Like, dude, that was just my ignorant ass mindset back then. And you don't get that shit. And then, but the reality is that I didn't believe that I can do it. And that's why I was attacking it the way that I was, because, I was trying to reject it before it rejected me. But then he actually brought in the book and was like, yeah, you just read this book. You read this book, or you read this next book, and then you read this one, and you get these certifications. We can, because we was working at GE and he was working at Shell. All the engineers came outside with their clean uniforms and wearing their clean, because obviously everywhere you go, there's classes, uh, the high class and the low class, no matter where you go, right? And on a construction site, it's the dirty hats and the clean hats. The people wearing the clean hats made more money than the people with the dirty hats, and their hard hats were clean. All they had to do was, because we was working obviously with pipes that were going to get sent overseas with Shell, and those engineers up there was making 60,000 plus, while we was only making like 20, 15, $20 an hour. I mean, for someone at the time, that was quote unquote a lot of money. For someone that without an education, quote unquote, in terms of having a degree in a specialized field, being able to make $15, $20 an hour for labor, because we all know that labor is cheap. That's pretty good. Work that doesn't require you use your mind, but your body is cheap. So that was actually one of the things that made me consider. I was like, you know what? I want to be one of them engineers up there in the air condition. Oh, they come down here for like 2 seconds with their clean hard hat. And if it wasn't for that conversation, shit, honestly, I wouldn't be here. I don't even know how I would. I don't know how I would have gotten here if I didn't have that start. I really don't know. And when I kind of go back in time and think about it, I was like, man, my brother right now, like the company that he works for, and it's crazy. We're in the same field, but we went in two different paths. I work. He works in the government. Because he has a top secret clearance, he can go anywhere. I didn't choose to go that route because I didn't care to work for the government anymore. I came from the military. I didn't want to work there anymore. And so I didn't go that route. I work obviously on the commercial side that works for the government. So I mean, it's basically Anyway, it doesn't matter. His recent position that he just got, the company moved him to Plano, Texas. Paid for everything, paid for the move, paid for the movers, gave him a sign-in bonus. He's able to negotiate his contract. It's dude, it's so different. This lifestyle is just so different. And we was just talking. I was like, dude, if we literally bullshitted from the time we was both welders working at GE and we made the shift over into the IT field. If we bullshitted at any point in time, we would have missed this entire opportunity. And as I said, it's like, man, it's crazy because now I'm starting to see other industries kind of I don't want to say. Well, I guess I mean there's no better way to say it. You've seen a lot of industry now downsizing, and a lot of the problems that certain people have is like, well, shit, we're fortunate enough to never feel that because we have a skill that no matter where we go, we can command 6+ figures. Like it's not even a question how much the employer is going to pay because we have the experience, we put in the time, we got the certifications, and et cetera, et cetera. But before, I mean, obviously, man, shit. Anyway, so like I said, hopefully the situation works as intended. Hopefully, people in this field can become employed after college. Hopefully. Oh, he was on a cruise. Photography. I mean, it's not like, man, look, my partner is doing a maternity shoot, and the prices are freaking crazy. I'm like, dude, you just taking a damn picture, but girls, y'all, you know that they want to be extra and spend their money on some shit. It's like, I mean, shit. If it's that serious, I mean, shit. I could take your picture, shit. But I would, blah, blah. Oh my god, photographers, and what are they called? People that go out that like they go out and they record your wedding. I forgot what they're called, but those little moments are being able to capture those moments and sell it to people. Shit, I can see why he's doing it full time because it's expensive as fuck. But people pay for it because, I mean, I can take your picture, but I guess it's just different if a professional does it, right? Yeah. So Boosted Vision asks, are there benefits to take profit versus starting? So take profit, that's Alfred right there. Alfred has you said that you've made like what, almost 50, 60K this year, Alfred? With Take Profit Trader? Me personally, with these prop firms, I really do not see a point in trading my own money. I really do not see a point. I really don't. I really don't. I'm not going to swing anything overnight. All the money that I'm going to make is going to be intraday. If you have $10,000 to put in the market, in my opinion, instead of trading the $10,000, get a prop account. Practice. These prop accounts are, I mean, if you want to, if you, so a lot of these firms have a straight to funded account. Trade one of those. I promise it's cheaper than 10,000. I mean, but that's my opinion. If you value trading your own money in the market, then I would suggest going with what feels right for you. But logically, I just don't see a point in trading my own money when there's firms that's going to allow me to have more buying power. I could take advantage of these moves. And as long as I come in and do the same things that I'm going to do in my own personal account anyway, I can receive a payout. I mean, and that's the whole point, is getting paid from this market. I mean, unless you're trading as a hobby and you just love the game, you just trade for the love of the game, which, I mean, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it, but I guess it really depends on what your goals are. If you want to grow your account and it's just for the love of the game, then having your own personal account is probably the way to go. But if you just want to be paid out without risking $10,000, but if you're paying $500 for $150 of buying power, well, prop firms are better. Yeah. Yeah. No problem. Boosted vision. Hopefully, I mean, well, I guess a follow up question is, what are your goals? What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to achieve in this market? And hold on, Take Profit Trader is having some competition, right? Because isn't Trade Day have the same rules without the trailing drawdown once you're funded? Because now it's like, what? It's 5 days before you can keep up the 95% of your profits. So Take Profit Trader has an 80% split. It was like an 80-20 split, right? And so, I mean, keep 95%. I mean, let's look at that, because I think Trade Day just kind of, I mean, okay, that's not what I wanted, but okay. So they dropped it from 40 to 30 now, huh? So now they have minimum. So now they're right there with Take Profit Trader, but you can see that, I don't know if y'all guys can see that, but now you can see that they reduced the amount of days that you have to trade, but it's no longer a 40% discount, but a 30% discount. Hmm. You said 30% consistency, or are you talking about the discount? Because wasn't Trade Day, I thought Trade Day was also 40. Wasn't it 40% off? The same thing like yeah. So yeah, it looks like they reduced it down to 5, and instead of giving a 40% discount, now it's a 30% discount. It was a month ago. Hmm. Well, and then Trade Day has the X platform. So if you like trading on TradingView, like I said, the X platform, the only thing that I really like on that is the risk settings. I feel that all trading platforms should have risk settings on their platforms, but well, yeah, and let's speak that into existence. Actually, let's actually look at what we have this week. Actually, let's look at that. Let's see what we have this week because I mean, if this week if they're more short, wow. So it looks like the market is coming out swinging on Monday. We have what, one, two, three, four, five Fed speakers speaking. So it must be like a little summit that they're doing or like a panel. We have five Fed speakers speaking on Monday. We have the red book that no one cares about because no one cares about the producer. Everybody cares about the consumer. We have so many producers. We have China. So no one cares about producers. As long as China is being China, no one cares about producers for real. Not for real. Now, we care about producers when it comes to tariffs, but outside of tariffs, no one cares. As long as so what the market is worried about is I mean, it's still the consumer at the end of the day. What investors are speculating is that if the producer is going to absorb the blow of tariffs and how will they pass that on to the consumer. Unfortunately, the American consumer is the hardest consumer to appease. You can't give a consumer a discount and expect for them to pay full price or more. You cannot, as a producer, you can play that game. And if you're not a brand, then you will lose. We're even starting to see quote unquote premium brands kind of face that. Now people are looking for discounted premium brands. So if people are looking for discounted premium brands, and if you're a regular brand trying to be like, yeah, I know we used to be $5, but now we got to sell our products for $7. Well, unfortunately, as the producer, you're going to have more inventory than what you're used to because the people aren't is not going to buy that shit. They're just not. And that's why people are focusing more on the tariffs and how that's going to affect producers. Once the market can kind of get an idea of how everybody can win in that situation, the producer and the consumer, the market would just go back to not caring about the producer again and only caring about the consumer. Because it's the consumer that moves the economy forward, obviously. So um it looks like we got Powell speaking on Tuesday at 11:35. What this guy talking about? What is he talking about? All right. So hmm, they're not being clear about what he's okay. So let's ask my AI assistant. All right. So let's see what Powell's going to be speaking about. Okay. So we're just going to okay. So according to this, So on Tuesday, September 23rd, Fed Chair Jerome Powell is expected to give his first major public remarks since the rate cut that happened on September 17th. While details of the speech have not been posted in full as of now, financial media speculates that Powell will be addressing the Fed reasoning behind lowering interest rates and provide an update on the labor market and inflation risk, an outline for U.S. monetary policy and potential paths for future rate cuts. And that's what the market cares about. It's what the path for future rate cuts are going to look like. Will we see an emergency 50 basis point cut at the next meeting, or should we expect the 25 basis point cut until the end of the year? And as interest rates go lower, based on some of the videos that I've seen, especially in the housing market, interest rates definitely have different effects in different parts of the market. I listened to this guy's video, and what he suggested was the reason, or one of the reasons why lowering rate cuts will kind of be bad for the housing market is because before, when the rates were super low, the housing market it went parabolic. Uh, Housing prices just skyrocketed, and it just did not seem like it was going to find a top because it was so much demand for houses, and so people were selling, as an example, $200,000 homes were being listed for millions of dollars because the demand to buy homes were so high. And what this creator suggested was that it's definitely going to be challenging for the Fed to get the interest rates cut just right, because obviously once the interest rates go down, what a lot of investors are going to do is buy and hold. And I looked in the comment section. There was a lot of investors agreeing with the opinions of this creator. They said as soon as interest rate gets down to 4%, not only am I buying, I'm going to get my family and other investors to buy, because I know that if I'm not aggressive with buying these homes, I know other investors will. And so what that tells me is that Powell definitely has a challenge on his hands. He definitely has it, because obviously those that have will have more, and those that don't have will have less. I mean, I think that's the story. I mean, that's a never ending story. Rich people, these businesses, these banks will purchase up and take up all the housing at cheap interest rates. And people that are just looking for, their first home, a place where they can kind of build their family and their legacy, well, they're going to go into a market where everything is just too expensive and they can't do it. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see it. Let's see if I can get like a. So let's ask. It's like, how does this affect the housing market? So let's see. I had this conversation with my daughter not too long ago, and I had to remember that girls think differently than men. Actually, I spoke to my partner about this as well, because I saw some crazy ass. Dude, I saw the most craziest TikTok today. I didn't know if I should even believe it, but this person said that they have a car loan for 79% interest rate for 365 months. I was like, dude, there is no fucking way. There is no way that someone gave her such a there's no way that that's legal. So that's why I was like, I don't know if I should even believe that stupid shit. But let's just say that it's true. Women do fall victim to that more often. They don't necessarily care about the back end. The only thing that they care about is if they get what they want for the price that they want to get it for. And unfortunately, salesmen understand that this is why um, you see the jokes and the memes of women getting extorted everywhere they go. And it's just because this is just common knowledge that women don't care about the back end. They only care about surface level things. And as long as they get what they want, and as long as they get it for a price that they think is fair, then they're happy. And then they're left holding the bag. I was like, dude, that's like a 30-year car loan. 365 months is 30 freaking years. There's no way that's even legal. But anyway, I was explaining to my daughter. She was like, well, don't, because her and her mom live in a house. And I choose not to. And she asked me why. And I was like, well, there's a lot of things that go into owning a home. Not only are you paying your mortgage, I mean, shit, first off, what really turned me off about owning a home was just having a 30-year commitment. Dude, I'm not going to be committed to a piece of property for freaking 30 years. That does not benefit me at all. And then you got to think about, the maintenance of your home. You got to think about, it's crazy, but you got to also think about what the neighborhood that you're in, the location. And if you're in an HOA, those are additional fees. You got to think about property taxes. Even if you pay off your home, you're still paying taxes on your home. I mean, there's just a lot of costs that, in my opinion, and it's just me, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with owning a home. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, at least for me, I don't care to be taxed to death because I want to say that, yeah, I own a home. Dude, I don't even care. I don't care about that shit. I don't care. And I was explaining to her, I was like, well, if you own a home, you just understand that you're just going to be, there's a tax for everything. It's not cheap. And I'm starting to see again with with a lot of people that own homes, a lot of these banks, they try to get you to refinance the loan. And unfortunately, people don't understand that depending on how the numbers are set up, with the banks, at least the main tactics that they like to use is because a lot of people are not financially literate, is that, man, you're paying what, $5,000 a month? I can get your payment down to $4,200 a month if you refinance with us. And then people are like, oh my God, yes, I'm saving $800. Of course, I'm going to refinance. Dude, you just restarted the loan. You got to start over. And you're paying more on the house, and people don't understand that all that money that you're paying over time, you're not even paying on the principal. You're paying on the interest of the damn house. You're paying on the interest. And if you refinance, you're starting the shit over. You get a cheaper payment, but over time, you paid $1 million into the house and you don't even own the shit. Not even a quarter of the shit is even done. And so it's like, honestly, I really don't see a point of any of that. I don't see a point. Yeah. That's exactly how I feel about that, Luke, in Texas. The taxes, I mean, like I said, the first thing that threw me off is the 30-year commitment. I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. I mean, if owning a home floats your boat, yeah. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I know that at the end of the day, my money is going to be spent on the things that I care about. I don't have to worry about property taxes. I just have to pay my rent. I don't care to own a home. I don't care to rent it out because I don't want to rent out to people. Like, I've seen the destruction of renters That like, dude, I've seen it. I've already shared with you guys a story that just solidified it to me that I'm not going to deal with people when it comes to I'm not owning a home and I'm not going to rent one out. I don't even want to play the real estate game. Me personally, I don't want to play that game. Unless you get a couple, unless you get someone, I mean, I think every renter's dream tenant would be someone that is in their golden years. They have no kids, no animals. They're just living out the end of their life in retirement. They're taking care of your property. They're even enhancing your property. And they give you back your property better than what you gave to them. That's every landlord's dream tenant. But we all know that that's not the norm. Most of the time, tenants destroy your property, got their nasty kids and their nasty dogs and animals. And by the time you get your property back, it's completely destroyed. And the way that these courts are set up, they have you waiting 5, 10 years to be able to sue a tenant for destroying your property. And then the crazy thing is they'll come back and say, well, I know you want $10,000 to be able to restore, the damages that this tenant has caused. But you have to take that, you're taking that risk as a landlord. So instead of giving you 10,000, we'll give you 3. We'll make the person pay you 3 for all the damages. And as they'll hit the gamble next case. And it's like, dude, I don't have to deal with all that stress. Life is not meant to stress like that. There's easier ways to make money. And playing that real estate, housing, property tax, all that, getting taxed to death game. No. But the one thing that I am seeing is that uh, my next focus should be how I can safely accumulate my wealth without getting taxed. Because I was talking to my mom about this, and now I'm starting to learn more, or I should say this correctly. I'm getting into learning how taxes work, how to write off certain things on my taxes, so I don't have to pay taxes. Because obviously, this is a situation where I'm thinking on a surface level, it's I want to make more money, but what I'm not thinking about is if I make more money, that means I'm going to be taxed more on the money that I make. And so now I have to understand how these billionaire oligarchs are protecting their wealth. And I need to start imitating that. I need to understand how trust works. I need to understand how turning a trust into an LLC and putting an LLC in that trust and all the crazy loopholes that, rich, wealthy people do to protect their wealth and assets. Now I need to understand that because I was speaking to my mom and I do my own taxes. I learned how to do my own taxes just watching, because if you just watch these anyway, it doesn't point. So I learned how to do my own taxes. I made one mistake where I added an extra zero on my tax, and I didn't catch it at first. Good thing the software did, but it said that I had to owe the government $3 million, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And at first, I didn't realize it said 3 million until I went back and I reviewed the documents, and I was like, 3 million, and then I saw that, oh shit, I put an extra zero, and then obviously it went back to the normal. I was like, that was just an eye opener for me, and it just shows like, man, if I make money, once I start to get into that 7-figure club and beyond, I gotta like, dude, just imagine if you're a billionaire and you're not doing your taxes correctly. You got to probably pay like $100 million in taxes, probably. Yeah, I mean, isn't that, yeah? That shit is so, it's crazy, man. My bad. Taxi says next year was better if you. I know people say that they have property managers, but then what's the point of playing the game? Like, I mean, to me, if I have a property manager, that's like an algo trading for me. And y'all guys already know how I feel about that shit. What's the point? I mean, because once you make a certain amount of money, we all know that anything past that number is just a love. Is just a love for the game. It don't even. Once you have a certain amount of money, it's not like it's you can't. There's only a certain amount of things that you can buy with money, and once you cross that point, uh, anything extra is just a love. It's just a love of the game. Shit. You can only shoot too many. You can only shoot so many threes before it's like, well, I mean, like LeBron, he's been in this game of basketball for so long that he was like, fuck it. You know, I'm just gonna make 40,000. I'm just gonna make 40,000 points passing. What is this? Hakeem Abdul Jabbar. He passed it. I mean, it's just for the love of the game at that point. And if I'm playing for the love of the game, I'm not gonna be stressing about some shit that I don't like to do. I mean, I'm not gonna if I'm gonna be a real estate. If I'm going to play the real estate game, then I really don't see a point in having a property manager if I love the game. Now, if I'm delegating task to a property manager where I'm managing my favorite properties and then I'm delegating like side projects to a property manager, okay, I can understand that. But if I have a property manager for all my properties and I'm just out there doing no, 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 no. UK, huh? I mean, I've seen Dubai. I don't know, man. There was one point in time where I would have enjoyed traveling to Dubai, but I don't know, man. You know, as all the stuff about Dubai is coming out, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Dubai is, I mean, shit. Dubai is very open about their slave labor. Yeah. They're very open about their slave labor. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Uh. Mm. Yeah, all right. So they're saying what to expect now around 6.3. Like I said, investors say if this gets down to if it gets down to 4%, the housing market is going to go crazy. Shit. Uh, we would need 2%. So if over time, I mean, it gradually goes back down to 4, people's gonna just like they're gonna start buying the houses up, and the housing market is going to go crazy. Mm, yeah. Gold, gold, gold. You lived in 3 countries. So Texas, which one has been your favorite so far? My brother has traveled all over the world as well. He he got lucky. He's in the military. My other brother, he's in the military. His job allows him to travel all over the world. It's crazy and kind of, I mean, this is kind of like one of those spiritual things, quantum physics kind of things, speaking things into existence type of things. When I was in the military, I did not want to travel. I'm a homebody. I prefer to project myself through the internet. Physically, I want to be home. I'm very comfortable. I love my 5 mile radius. My partner always jokes about, you and your 5 miles. I enjoy my 5 miles radius. Everything that I need physically is in my 5 miles. But I can project myself out on the internet. My brother's different, obviously. He wanted to travel, and he was stuck in one spot for a while, but then just something magical happened. It was magical. He got a career. He was given the opportunity to change his career path, and the career path that he changed into allows him to travel. He's equivalent to a what is it called? The people that's on the plane, uh, flight attendants. Yeah, he's a flight attendant, and he's I think what did he say? I don't know everybody that he's been around, but he was actually on the flight with Kamala Harris. Believe it or not, he was on what the Air Force One or two or whatever. He's been all over the world. Anywhere that the he gets assigned to work on different planes, and wherever that plane goes, he goes. So he's been in Germany, all other places that I'm not going to talk about. And right now he's in Florida. And it's like, man, when I talk to him, it's like, dude, it's like you're living your dream, man. Do you realize that? Like you're literally living the dream that you wanted for yourself. You wanted to travel the world, and coming from where we came from to where he is now, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, dude, what else is it if you don't speak things into existence and you just don't like? I guess your reality goes where your mind's at, where your focus is at. Because, like I said, I did not have that experience in the military. I had the exact experience that I wanted. I wanted to stay in one place. I didn't deploy anywhere. I didn't get moved anywhere. I didn't want to go anywhere. I just wanted to go and do my job, come home, make my money, and fuck bitches. That was my limited mindset. And that's exactly what I got. And it got me in trouble. Like I said, it's not enough trouble to destroy my life, but it was enough trouble to allow me to open my eyes to other realities. And once my reality opened up, and then a lot more things started to happen. It's probably why people think magic exists, because it feels magical to be able to be the driver of your reality. It really does, especially if you believe that you weren't capable of it. Especially. Yep, that's exactly right, man. Bali and India. You know, dude, that is so crazy. I just saw that on TikTok. I just saw that on TikTok. I just saw that. It's very interesting. I just seen that. I started getting passport bro content in my for you page, and these guys were talking about all these Asian countries, all these countries in Asia, and they're showing, I guess, the better side, the paradise side of these countries. And I was like, wow, these, and then it's cheap. It's luxury, and it's cheap. And at least through these videos, it's definitely a different experience. It's definitely a different experience. You know, probably in the latter half of my life, that's probably exactly what I'll do. I think what's going to happen for me is once, as I continue to move forward, I'm going to probably travel more, especially when my kids get older. Give them a life where, because we all know that kids complain about everything, no matter if you give them a good life or not. They find a reason to complain about something. But at least for me, just give them a life where it's like, if they find themselves in a conversation where it's like, we went to Italy over the summer, and then they could say, oh shit, I did the same thing. They can actually be part of a conversation where, they've traveled. They were able to experience this world. And so I think that's when I'll do all that, because honestly, I don't care about none of that. My childhood, the best thing we did was go to Disney World, and that was about it. We didn't go overseas when I was growing up. Shit, we was lucky enough to get Disney World, but yeah, I'll probably do that when the kids get older. Mm. Yeah, that's definitely true. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree, and especially depending on how old you are or what generation you grew up in. Uh, it was kind of normal if you didn't have, I guess the lifestyle that we saw on TV. But now, since this newer generation is addicted to the internet and the stories that are told, not having these experiences could be seen as uh, being rejected from a tribe, as crazy as that sounds. Oh, you never traveled anywhere? Oh, you never had this experience? Well, we don't hang out with people like that. We don't associate ourselves with quote unquote losers. And as adults, we know that, that could sound crazy, but to kids, stuff like that is very important. It's very important to be able to find a group as in your adolescent stage and feel comfortable within that group and do the things that the group does, because that's what kids do. Kids find safety in groups. So being a part of a group is very important to them. And I've already I've al- I've already thought about what group that I would want my kids to be a part of, and now I already have engineered their life to be that way. I'm going to be that guiding hand for them, of so they can't ever relate to, or they can never relate to poverty or just the ignorance or foolishness of this world. I want to get them to a point to where they can't relate to it, because if I can do that, if I can get them to see that the ignorance of this world is not worth it, then that's basically half the battle right there. All of their decisions that they make as adults will kind of be rooted. It's like, well, I know that type of mindset or reality is not worth my time, so I'm not going to go down that road. And when it comes to my daughters, I'm going to make it very clear that I'm very traditional. Do not ever go out and be with someone without telling me about it. I do believe in the whole I need to meet who you're talking to, because if you're a girl dad, you would know you kind of have to understand what women go through, and we all know that women hallucinate a lot, and they will blind themselves from a lot of things because they like someone. And the one thing that as a father that I have to understand, that I do understand, is she can get pregnant, and for 9 months she's focusing on growing and bringing another being into this material reality. And as soon as she becomes pregnant, that right there lowers her value in the marketplace. As much as social media will make you believe that there are men that will accept other men's children, I know that the men that I would want my daughter to be with will not. I won't accept anybody else's children. I've always had this stance. If a woman, no matter who, or I mean, honestly, I'm not here to take care of anybody else's children. I'm here to take care of mine. And any woman that had a child was already a no for me. That was automatic. I mean, we can always have fun. I can play my role as, the getaway from your day to day life with your kids. But there is no way in hell that I was ever going to adopt your kids and take care of them. No. And men of high stature, a lot of men just won't take that. So I have to protect my daughter from herself. She needs to make the right decision. At least I will make that clear. Now, if she chooses, once I've made that clear to her and she chooses to do things, well, then I also understand that there's nothing that I can do. I understand that. Obviously, you're an adult. You can make your decisions. But if you make the wrong one, it will definitely dictate the direction your life will go into. And that is just a reality of life. We may not like it, but that's a reality. So I definitely will make that very clear to my daughters. Very, very clear. Mm, mm. Yeah, I definitely agree with that, Texas. I definitely agree. Honestly, I find myself thinking about what the world is going to be like in the next 10 years in terms of technology, because we're already starting to see a fatigue already. Everybody is fatigued about something. If it's not about politics, dating, education, their day to day life, hating on each other based on race, skin, gender, all that other stuff that doesn't really matter in the big picture. As a parent, it's definitely challenging to raising your kids and all of that and shielding them from all the stupidity of this world. And social media just makes it more accessible. It makes ignorance accessible. So going back to socialism, you know, yeah. Well, I guess I mean if you go back to that, that means capitalism would have to die. And I don't know. If there was a balance with capitalism, I don't see anything wrong with it. Obviously, greed gives capitalism a bad name, obviously. But I like the idea that people are motivated by making more money. I would feel I feel more comfortable living in a world where people are motivated by money. And a good example of that is our grocery stores. Our grocery stores is literally a collection of different individuals' capitalistic dreams. You got your farmers, you have your engineers, you have everybody in one spot providing a product for people to go in, buy, and consume. But if people wasn't motivated by the money that they earn, well, I would assume that those stores that we go to won't be it wouldn't be it wouldn't have an abundance of different products in it. I I would I would assume that there wouldn't be 10 options of dish soap. There wouldn't be 10 options of electronics, 10 options of different clothes I can wear, because you have different people competing in the same industries. It keeps prices down. And as the consumer, we always want the cheapest prices possible. And if mm, and if people aren't motivated, to produce, based on capitalism, I just feel that the quality of life will go down. But that's my opinion. It's my opinion. Yeah, that is true. A lot of these brands do buy up a lot of young other brands. Kind of like with Budweiser, when people was like they had to literally boycott 20 of the products because boycotting Budweiser, and you went out and bought Weiser Bud, and you come to find out it's all under the same umbrella. That's true. And I think that's what I mean about the greed in capitalism. If it was all different products being ran by one individual instead of an umbrella company, because that type of capitalism, when you own everything, obviously there's no innovation. Is actually the product, the quality of the product actually downgrading because there's no need to compete. I think that's actually a really good example of what I'm talking about, because if you own all the beers, well, I don't really need to make it taste any better. I mean, no matter what you pick, it's going to be the same beer, and I'm going to get paid. Mm. No, yeah, Texas. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree. Food quality sucks, man. Well, let me be clear about that. When I go out to eat, yeah, the food quality sucks. I cook at home now. Most of my cooking is at home now. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Especially after COVID, things just suck. Yeah, Alfred, that's definitely true. That is definitely true, man. That's probably why I save so much money, because I don't. The last place that I went out to, like, honestly, now that I think about it, I don't even remember the last place that I've actually went out to. And maybe it's just because it's Texas. I don't think Texas is probably a city place, or I'm not not a city place, a party place. But well, I mean, even in New York, uh, mm, I wouldn't even want to live in New York. I wouldn't want to live in New York. It's too crazy up there. Everybody's just too crazy for me. I don't want to be alive every single moment of the day. You know what I mean? By, sometimes you want to be on autopilot, but you got to be on your P's and Q's at all times. People are crazy, man. Honestly, when I think about it, I really do not think of any other place that I would live other than, I mean, if I wasn't in Texas, when I was living in West Palm Beach, I enjoyed it, but I don't know the state of Florida now. But then they have too many hurricanes down there, and if the moment you get comfortable in Florida, well, shit, You got a hurricane that's gonna probably you got a hurricane going through your damn city, and then you come back and your house ain't there no more. So honestly, I really can't even think of a place where I would want to live other than Texas. Damn sure ain't gonna move to California. Mm. You think it's been moving better than gold? Let's look at that. Let's look at silver. Because what you just said right now, Alfred, was blasphemy, but we'll entertain it though, even though it's blasphemous. You said silver's been moving better than gold. Is it the same thing? Is silver on the December contract? All right, so it's on the December contract. Okay. You said Charlotte, North Carolina is underrated. What do you like about Charlotte, Alfred? I lived in North Carolina. I didn't go to Charlotte. I live closer to Raleigh. I lived in Goldsboro, North Carolina. We would go to Raleigh, me and when I was in the military, and yeah, you're in Charlotte right now. How do you like it? Spend most of your life in Charlotte? Nice place. Tony says silver used to get you that bag. Why did you stop trading silver? Been in 10 years, huh? Mm. Yeah, Charlotte was the only part. Well, obviously, I haven't been in the whole part of North Carolina, but as crazy as it's, yeah, I didn't. Charlotte was the only place I did not go to, even though I lived in North Carolina for 2 years. I found myself more in Virginia. When I was in North Carolina, I would just take the drive to Virginia, up there in Hampton and Newport Beach. They said that Virginia is for lovers, and they mean that shit. They mean that shit. Like North, like, dude, Virginia is for lovers, not fighters. Believe me, they have a. So if y'all not familiar with Virginia's flag, let's see. Let's see if it's still like it's a man, is a woman with that standing over the head of a man or something like that. Yeah, dude, this is literally they mean this shit. They mean it. They're telling you that if you go to Virginia on that fuck shit, you think that you're gonna go to Virginia? You see how it's a woman standing over a man in the crown and stuff like that? They mean that shit. This is a woman's paradise. They mean that shit. I've seen too many people get caught up in Virginia's system. They mean this. You get into a domestic situation in Virginia if you want. They don't care if your clothes are ripped. If she beat your ass, she says that he blew on me the wrong way. It's you they gonna take. Yo, they mean this shit. Yo, I've seen too many people. That's why I was like, let me get out of Virginia, dude. That is just crazy. That is crazy. They mean that. This is a woman standing over the body of a king or some shit like that. They mean that. Virginians for lovers, because they imprison all their fighters. You'll get lost in the system. God damn, gold is like that. Damn. Huh. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it looks like silver is hold on, is that today? Hmm. If I can kind of find a system with silver, I mean, it feels like silver, it feels like silver does respect supply and demand from what I see. It looks like it does. I would just have to see. I would just have to see how, I would just have to observe how silver trades because it looks like it's very similar to gold. But I guess if you're on the wrong side of this, because silver is like what? Silver is, Texas. Yeah, I trade. Yeah, we trade the New York session. Yeah, we definitely trade the New York session. So silver, micro silver is, oh, okay. So it's $1 a point. Okay. I'm about to say it's what is it, $1,000 per point. So it's um, so it's like $1. So it's the same thing as gold then, huh? It's the same thing. You said it should be 2.5 per point. I guess that's what I should have asked, like the tick size. So is a 0.005 ticks equals $25? Huh. Hmm. Looks like I should have. Well, I mean, well, let me look at this. Let me look at gold because I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have taken this trade. I mean, we could see gold come down because if I got in at 23, I still would have been in this trade though. I think, yeah, I still would have been in the trade. But I'm not gonna take a trade like this. No, I'm not gonna take a gold trade like this. Okay. I'm gonna look at well, let's see. Silver is on the December contract. Micro silver future. Let's see. Let's see what that looks like. Mm, Huh. Well, silver definitely likes the 21 EMA. So that's always a good sign. If I can use the 21 EMA to make 20 trading decisions, then that's always a good sign for me. Okay. I guess we'll look at it. We'll look at it. Actually, let me go on the sim with this because I want to see how much money this is. So I'm just gonna just throw something on here. Just kind of want to see how much. I get like put on a mini or something. So I just want to see how much money this thing can make. Make sure I'm in the sim. I'm in the sim on this. So I'm just gonna take a quick, just as short to see how much money I can make and how much leeway I got to lose. Okay, so I'm in a mini. I'm up $5 already, huh? And so like a micro tick. So I'm up one tick, 1 point, 2 points. Huh. So on a mini, I'm already up $100 on 2 points, on two ticks, actually. Let me be very clear. That means you have to keep a tight stop with silver then, huh? Because she can be very unforgiving if you're wrong and you're heavy. So if gold is unforgiving, silver is super unforgiving, huh? I mean, shit, I see. Shit, I see. I barely, this thing's barely moved and I'm already up. Let's see how much money I can lose. Let's see. Honestly, I'm gonna let this run because I want to see. I want to see how much money I can really make with silver. I want to see, and how much money I can lose with silver, and if silver is can be a supplement to gold, because I feel that the best combination right now is Nasdaq and gold. You can't beat that combination, in my opinion. But if silver is out here treating your boy right, you know, in the kitchen cooking me a meal and then bringing me a plate and making sure your boy's fed, then shit, we can go to the gold and silver, silver and gold. We can do that. Well, K trader, I'm not. This is a trade in the sim. I just want to see how much money, or I just want to see where I can get away with. Usually when I'm paying attention to a new instrument, I take trades like this just to see what I can get away with and how much money I can win or lose. So this was a random trade. Yeah, going long is probably the better idea here, but it's just a random trade. It doesn't mean anything. It's in the sim. Yeah, it's a sim trade. I'm just trying to see what I can get away with here. This is how I fill out anything or any instrument that I trade is I just want to get a feel of their personality, how they move, because I I already know that these markets make measured moves day in and day out. We all have those trading against the trend tendencies. So I just want to see what I can get away with if I'm trading against the trend. Will it react at the 21 EMA? Will it not? And these types of trades is just great for data collection. And we just refined as we move forward. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, Alfred. Trades in the sim are definitely undefeated. Okay. Well, I think it's pretty obvious that the Nasdaq is still bullish. We could see a pullback to the Friday's orb high. We did see the market attempt to break out on the first attempt, and they were able to push past the second attempt. So I do expect to be buy orders sitting in this area, or at least somewhere between this, the orb high, and this rising trend line, which forms this triangle. So anything in this space right here is liable to be bought. And for the bears to be successful, kind of like what they did, where was it at? Let me see if I can find it. And because, yeah, where was it at? Well, maybe I removed the trend line, but we know that in order to take a successful trend line trade on the Nasdaq, is that they need to break and pull back, and then this is where you want to short for the move lower. Anything other than that, then you're asking to become a liquidity donation. But all right, guys, that's it for me tonight. I'm definitely going to bed. I appreciate everybody that's joined. We'll definitely come back tomorrow morning, and we'll definitely look for more opportunities to earn some more money. And with that said, peace out, everybody. Have a good night.